In October of 2021, a speedrun category that was barely ever touched received a sudden climb in popularity. No known reason for this exists, but the theories of how many Halloween Curse of Strahd one-shots of D&D there would have been, more players grew an interest about how the campaign ends, and seeing a short speedrun was really appealing to them, I guess. Regardless, it went from basically an unknown speedrunner from a few dozen players to one of the most popular speedruns in the world in just a few weeks. And over the course of just only a couple months, the speedrun went from struggling to achieve a sub-hour time to less than 15 minutes due to constant improvements and replanning routes. In November 2021, a major skip was found by Sergey105 that can help avoid a major time loss in the game. You see, the final villain of Curse of Strahd is, well, Strahd, a scary vampire, but the time doesn't end when he dies because there is in fact an epilogue. Before this epilogue, a certain NPC called Rahadin, if they have not been slain yet, they show up to kill the party, which begins another fight. He has 135 HP, which isn't too bad, but it makes it a slow slog to fight through, especially in a speedrun, and especially after burning all your abilities to fight Strahd. However, Sergey105 made a realization. The timer ends when the adventure was finished. The only prerequisite for this adventure to be a success was Strahd being slain. So Sergey105 tried a brand new strategy, letting Rahadin attack you after you slay Strahd and letting him kill you, not just skipping a really lengthy fight but also a post-game cutscene. However, not all was good within the speedrunning community. As of the end of November, a massive controversy broke out within the community. The community was perfectly split between seeded and unseeded runs being the norm. See, during a Curse of Strahd run, you perform a tarot reading which determines various things about the adventure, such as where powerful magic items spawn, where a powerful ally is, and where Strahd spawns. Up until this point, half of the community had been doing this reading randomly, and the other half had been presetting the deck to have their optimal layout of spawns. For 2 weeks straight on the official Strahd 80% Discord server, there was constant debate over what should be the legal strat. The unseeded community declared their runs were more in line with the original game design, requiring more skill and adaptation to play, and if that we start allowing the stacking of decks, all roles should just be whatever we want them to be, because we're already manipulating RNG. The seeded community passionately disagreed, saying that there's no rule saying the Dungeon Master can't choose the tarot cards themselves, and that this allowed more unique pathing, and that it's more in the spirit of speedruns. After the 2 weeks ended, the seeded communities found their rules to be the official ones, but not for the reason you may think. See, this is a collaborative speedrun, with the Dungeon Master doing the most work, and part of the existing rules is that the Dungeon Master must read anything in the grey description boxes in the adventure guide, and that reading must be understandable. And there is a lot of text that needs to be read for this adventure, even in the most optimal routes. Because of the Dungeon Master needs to read at max speed, and the unseeded community sometimes dumped runs when they found they got a really bad seed, there became cases of severe chest pain within the community from pushing themselves beyond the limit for a reasonable speed of speaking. Because of this, the speedrun moderators agreed for the health of the community, using seeded runs would be the official run. With the new rules in place to start December 2021, runs began losing a lot of time. EVCs all created the useful skip known as Tarokoskip, skipping the entire tarot reading section of the game. Since the Dungeon Master needed to do one before the game anyway, and the players know the route, nothing of value is lost. Kenku Slayer XX also found 2 unique skips. A massive run killer at this point was random encounters. If you managed to roll one, it was an instant reset basically. But Kenku Slayer XX realized that by taking a slightly longer mysterious visitor's intro, you get to safely travel to the Serpool encampment with no encounters along the way. This Vistani skip saved a lot of runs from an early reset, but Kenku Slayer XX wasn't done there. Then they came up with a new build, using an entirely flying party to fly directly from the Serpool to Castle Ravenloft. As you're supposed to roll for random encounters, but since you're flying in a direct path to Castle Ravenloft, and it only takes 20 minutes of in-game time, it doesn't even risk activating a random encounter. With random encounters completely off the table, throughout December speedruns became faster and faster. Losing time here and there, with flying now on the table, the entire Castle Ravenloft segment sped up too, completely redesigned. All the floor traps can just be ignored now, and the one forced encounter in a torture chamber, you can just fly over it. Several different routes using Taraka cards had been constructed, but the most successful one of all was won by St. Macovia's thighs, by stacking the deck to fit everything within a single room. There's a room underground in Ravenloft with many crypts, and most of these crypts have a correlating card in the deck, so the route is simple. Go retrieve the Holy Thighbone flying over the floor trap as you, then retrieve the Sun Sword from an otherwise empty crypt, This also gives you a level up as all of the treasures do. You then open a different crypt and pull a sword out of a skeleton's body. This causes the ally from your tarot reading Circlots to join you. He is a ghost that can fade through walls. You then get him to retrieve the holy symbol of Ravenkind from a dangerous pit trap, giving you another level and letting you skip an entire puzzle. Finally, you complete a short puzzle to gain the Tome of Strahd and reach level 6. Finally, while there's many places in the castle where you could fight Strahd, there is one Tarokoskip card that helps with his position more than any of the others. The Miss card specifically states, this card offers no clues about where the final showdown with Strahd will occur. It can happen anywhere you'd like in Castle Ravenloft. Because of this, we can just shove Strahd into any random crypt we want, such as the one right next to the place the players pick up the Tome of Strahd. The players can quickly use a Twilight Cleric to cast Leomund's Tiny Hut to avoid another encounter as they rest and attune to their new magical items. The rest is simple. They open the doors and fight Strahd, and then when Raiden shows up, they attack each other until the last of them fails a death save, and that's where we call time. What makes this strat even faster is that players begin to attack each other before Strahd is dead, but when he's low in health and they know he's going to die soon. Finally, with this all laid out, the speedrun by the start of 2022 was already reaching sub 30 minutes. A few TASs were made to figure out the fastest hypothetical completion time, speeding up speeds to inhuman speeds, and guaranteeing that every single roll is a nat 20 or 1, and it got the speedrun down to just a few minutes, but that seems nowhere near achievable by humans. But on the 25th of January 2022, the new world record was set by me and my friends, beating the previous world record by over 10 minutes. The new record was 13 minutes and 44 seconds, and it was insanely perfect in various ways, and honestly almost completely unrecreatable. The reading sections were done almost perfectly, and it caused myself a significant amount of chest pain for the rest of the night. Additionally, there was insane luck in both the Strahd and Rahadin fights, multiple natural 20s against Strahd, and several massive damage rolls, plus the players perfectly set up a Moonbeam to start downing them before they even finished up Strahd. The world record might be nearly perfect by human standards, but that hasn't stopped the community from trying to beat it. At the rate things have moved, sub 10 minutes might even be possible. Other adventure speedruns have been attempted, but none of them have really stuck like the Curse of Strahd speedrun, likely due to the openness of the adventure, although apparently Wild Beyond the Witchlight speedruns have been growing in popularity. That's it for the history of Curse of Strahd Any%, a category filled with drama, health problems, and massive time saves just within a few months. It's probably one of the most competitive current speedruns of all time, with thousands of concurrent viewers at any moment. Twitch even went down for a full week due to how many hundreds of thousands of viewers were trying to watch the live streams of this run. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button, it helps me out so much. Thank you so much for watching.